the world in which we live is inhabited by a large number of human beings and millions of other lives like animals, birds, insects, and other small and minute living beings. All these creations are born in the world at a particular time, live in the world for some hours, days, months, or years, and die at the determined time. Some, like tortoise, live for hundreds of years, and some live like insects only for a few hours. Among human beings, some live for 100 years, and others for varying periods such as 60, 70, 80, and 90 years. All these creators are born into this world at a particular time. They seem to follow a time schedule. Each one seems to have some periods allotted to them for living in this world. After the expiry of these periods, they die and disappear from the face of the earth. This cycle of birth, living, and death goes on and on, like the rising and setting of the sun and moon every day. When we think about this cycle of birth, living, and death, we are amazed. We do not know from where they come at birth and where they go after death. This puzzle has engaged the attention of our ancestors, our saints and seers, and other wise men. They also were puzzled like us at the beginning. After a lot of thinking and researching for many years, they found out the secrets behind the birth, living, and death. They have shared with us their findings about birth and death. Not only our ancestors in India, but many thinkers and researchers, particularly in parapsychologists, psychology researchers in developed countries like America and in Europe, have discovered what happened to us after death. Many of their findings agree with the findings of our ancestors and our seers. When we are born in this world, we are born with a physical body, which we can see, touch, and hear. This physical body grows big with the help of the food and drink and the air we breathe. It lives in the world till the allotted time and then dies and vanishes. This happens to all the living creatures in the world. The human being is the biggest of all the creations, with the power of discrimination between the good and bad. It is capable of living a noble and virtuous life. It is also capable of living a bad and ignoble life and live like animals. The animals, birds, and insects and others are considered inferior creations, which have no discriminating power between the good and the bad. God, who is the creator of this world, this cosmos, and regulator of everything that exists, who has given the laws, the rules, and regulations about how to live in this world, who has defined what is good life and bad life, who rewards those who follow good life and who punishes those who follow bad life, looks after everything in the cosmos and sees that all creations follow the rules and regulations prescribed for them. Those who live a good life are rewarded by God after their death, by granting them a higher form of human life. Those who lead bad life are punished by God by granting them inferior birth as animals, birds, worms, and so on in the next birth. Thus, by granting rewards and punishments, God makes the human beings to follow a good life in this world. All the creations in the world are born with a physical body, which is visible to outside world and in which all live. Along with the physical body, there is also a subtle body, Sushma Udambu, for all the creations, which is not visible to the outside world. The subtle body is similar to the physical body, fits exactly with the physical body, and grows with the physical body. There is soul or spirit to each one of the creations, which directs the physical and subtle body. There are different worlds in the cosmos, like the physical world, which is visible and in which all creations live. There are also subtle worlds, Sushma Ulagam, to which all the souls and subtle bodies and creations go after and live in a good or bad place in the subtle world, according to the good or bad life they led in the physical world. Those who led a good life in the physical world will have a comfortable and enjoyable life in the subtle world. Those who led a bad life in the physical world will have to live in a sorrowful and painful way in the subtle world. Each soul with a subtle body will have a certain period of life in the subtle world. Of the prescribed period, each soul with its subtle body will have to return to the physical world for the reincarnation. Each soul will be allowed to enter the bodies of certain creations in their mother's womb and take birth in the physical world. The new incarnating soul will get a good or bad life, good or bad parents, good or bad families, according to the good or bad deeds they did in the previous birth. It is why we say that we must lead a good life in this birth, so that after our death we will be able to get a good life in the subtle world, and when we reincarnate, we will get good bodies, good parents, and good family background. We are also warned that if we lead a bad life in our present birth, we will have to suffer in the subtle world after our death and in our reincarnate life. The the scriptures and our saints and seers tell us all this and ask us to lead a good life in our present birth and avoid all evil thinking and deeds so that our future life will be happy and enjoyable.